Hi all of you, welcome back. Today I will explain you few topics with yesterday's commands also. So I think yesterday you faced some problem with the screen small size screen. Why? Because here I'm using virtual machine. So if you increase this one, this will not show you the full screen concept. So okay, whatever. Today I'm going to explain you few concepts with our commands. So today first I will tell you how to install our Ubuntu server uh, in your virtual machine. Then after that, how to connect with a network uh, with a shell script, and then after how to work with the commands. Okay, so first I'm going to I'm using my virtual machine workstation player. No need to go for workstation. You can use only workstation player. It's a lightweight. Okay. So within this, I'm going to select create new virtual machine. Create new virtual machine. So within this create new virtual machine, inside of this one, you have to select your ISO file. So you can download from the Ubuntu server and you can select here. So ISO is an image. Okay, you can copy in your CD drive or USB drive as a bootable. So it will work. So here I'm going to select my AMD server and I have my desktop also. But desktop is totally 1.9 GB. So it will take almost 45 minutes to install the server. So desktop. So but I want to complete in 15 to 20 minutes. So then I'm going to use this 600 MB space server. So here this is my image and I'm going to select this and click on open. Okay, so here I selected my Linux. Then you have to click on next button inside of the new virtual machine wizard dialog box. So it will ask you to set the name password for your virtual machine system operating system. So within this you can enter your username and password. So I'm going to pass the same what I installed in previous server. So the same user ID and password I'm going to configure. So next, you have to click on next button. Then you can rename it. So here I'm going to call server 1. And I'm going to change the installation location into my D drive VMOS, and I'm going to create my Ubuntu server 1. So inside of this folder, I'm going to store my this server information. So from that location, I'm going to operate my Ubuntu server. Okay, next click on next. Again, the hard disk space, you can keep it 20 GB, that's enough. And then next click on the finish button. So by default it will shows you all the configuration, what is the Ubuntu server name, where it is located, and what kind of version you are going to use, and what kind of operating system you are going to install, and the hard disk memory, and the network adapter, and all other devices. So just my memory is 1 GB, so that means here Swap will create itself a 2 GB. Okay, now I'm going to click on finish. But what I discussed you in before day, the concept is swap installation will be not applicable for your operating system, virtual machine where you are going to install the virtual machine. That is not applicable for the swap. So why? Because the virtual machine automatically takes that concept. If in case you want to create a dual boot, in that situation you have to create your swap partition also. Okay, manually you have to create a swap partition. Okay, now I'm going to click on finish button. So now the procedure is starting. So basically here I'm going to install only server. So server don't have any kind of GUI operations. If in case you want to install those GUI, so after installing your operating system, you have to manually install the GUI, GNOME or KDE, whatever you want, you can install. So but whatever the main ISO image is there, that should be only for command console. So while installing, it will ask you few commands and required concepts. So suppose you want to work with virtual machine, if in case you are going to use laptop or desktop, in the BIOS setting, you have to enable your virtualization concept. So in BIOS setting, you have to enable your virtualization concept. Then only you can install your operating systems in your virtual machines. Okay, remember that guys. In BIOS settings, you have to enable virtualization. Virtualization, one option is there. So you have to enable that. So after that, you can only install your operating systems in your virtual machine players. Whatever, you can use Oracle Live box, what VM box or whatever. So you have to enable virtualization from the BIOS. So okay, so it's going to install. Meanwhile, we will work with our we will discuss the few concepts in last 2 days concepts once again. Then after we will apply all these commands in this installed operating system. Okay. So what we discussed, what is the kernel, why we are going to use. Yesterday we already discussed. Once again, I'm going to repeat. So kernel is a concept. So between the it will stay at between the your hardware device and your operating system, and it is a mediator. It acts like a mediator. So that means it will perform the mediator task. So where what happen? It will receive the data from the operating system and it will store into the hardware device. Again, it will receive the data information from the hardware device and it will transfer to the operating system. So that means it's a mediator and it is a heart of all the systems. Okay. So in the second one, what is exactly shell? Why are you going to use this one? Okay. So here what happened? Kernel is a mediator. So that means kernel is a operator to work with the two concepts, two layers, whatever the hardware device and second one is operating system. The same way, suppose you want to manage your operating system. Suppose you want to manage your hardware device. In that situation, you are going to use this shell. So simply one example is that suppose you brought your bike or you brought your car. So suppose you want to drive, you want to go for a drive. So in that situation, what happened? The steering, the clutch, the gear rod, whatever it is. So those are the operators to work with you and your car, right? So that means the same way here the shell is a steering part. So to operate your operating system. So where you have to store, what you have to do, everything you have to work with this one. Okay, well, and what type of shells are available? That should be like SH, it's a brown shell, and bash is also a brown again shell concept. That means here it is an updated version of shell. Okay, so then C shell, so totally the Linux operating system also, and it is also a Unix operating system which has a means C programming concept, and turbo C shell is also one kind of topic. Then after KSH is a corn shell. Who can so that means based on these shells you are going to operate your Linux operating system. Linux or Ubuntu, Unix, whatever you can operate from this one also. Okay, if in case you are going to use Red Hat operating system and you are going to pass this command. What is that command? Cat, C-A-T, cat space slash etc slash shells. So this command will show you how many shells will compatible to work with your operating system. How many shells will compatible to work with your operating system. Okay. So here this is the command. Just write down this one. We will apply this for our newly installed operating system. Then we will check how many shells are compatible to work with our operating system. So please write down this one. Cat slash cat space. Remember guys, cat space. Cat is a command. space slash etc slash shells. Okay, when you hit enter, what happen? It will ask you the compatible shells working with your Unix operating system. Okay, now second one, to know where it is your home directory, you have to use this one. So echo is a command to identify the path information which is you configured in your operating system root folders. Okay, so that means here echo space $home. So it will tells you where you are. So that means which user you logged in and which user has this home directory and what is the address for that. So everything it will tells you. So that means here see in the net home is a root directory. So within the root directory Orlando is a username. So that means here Orlando is also a one folder where you have to store your information, user information. Okay. So just write down this one. So if in case instead of this one, suppose you want to know the bin class for locations also, that you have to call echo space $sign path PATH. P capital letter, A capital letter, T capital letter and H capital letter. So that means so path, home, class path all are capital letters. And remember guys, shells are case sensitive. Shell script is totally case sensitive. So it's loading. Okay, next one. So quota V will gives you the information about your disk usages. So that means in which user you are there. So it will tells you the information. So that means limited disk usages was a common practice when hard disk space was still expensive. Okay, so limited or almost exclusively applied in large environment. So you can see yourself in the limit is set using the quota command. So that means here quota minus v will tells you the disk quotas for that particular user. Okay, so it will tells you all the things. So if in case you want to know what is exactly quota, so then you can pass the command info space quota. So info space quota, either man space quota. So write down this one. Okay, so next one we'll check configuration files information. Few configuration files we already here I mentioned. So those are alias, Apache, Bash, Bash RC. So alias is a concept of servers information. So that means here suppose you want to transfer any kind of mail from one user to another user in the local Unix operating system. So there you have to use this alias concept. And the Apache is a server. So that means it's a web server. From this web server, suppose you want to host any kind of website. So then from this Linux operating system, then you have to install this Apache server. So it is Apache is a most high level and mostly using for Java, PHP, Perl, other technologies. So it's a totally open source. So that means it's a free. You can download and install in your system. Okay, bash HR is also a born again shell procedure. So within this, what happened? Uh, Other shells may have their own system-wide configuration, like CSHRC. So the same way here, we are going to use the bash RC procedure. So it's a born shell procedures. Okay, and the second one, a few things are there: cron tab and default file system, fs tab, ftp. Ftp is also a server. Suppose you want to host any kind of files from your local system to in the remote server. So either you want to transfer any kind of data from one system to another system, then you have to use this file transfer protocol concept. As you know, the file server, FTP server, we have two concepts in that FTP. One is a server, another one is client. So that means server will receive the information from the client. Okay, the same way. And the groups. So suppose here what happened, you have to create n number of groups to develop your application. So in your operating system, in that situation, you are going to use this group concept. So that means you are grouping n number of users in your Linux operating system. So the installation is complete. The virtual machine is going to restart. Okay, it will start. So next one, host. So that means your operating system is also a one kind of host where you are going to store your information. So that will be tells you all the things, host information, and init tab. So information for booting, mode, number of text consoles, everything will be configured in this init tab procedures. And issues, so suppose you are facing any kind of errors from the kernel or any operating system, so that issues will be stored in the log information, so that will be configured here. And some library files what are required to work with your operating system, that is lb ld.so.conf and lilo and clo about. All the concepts are to work with our operating systems. So few concepts are there. So and second one, log rotate, mail and mode, mtab and switch config. So all these messages to transfer your information from one user to another user or one network to another network. Then you are going to use this few files from your operating system. So PAMD password, I think we applied password for yesterday. So print cap, profile and RC. So all these are, we're going to activate our services and configure our common services. Okay, so next one is a resolve send email services and SSH. So shell script, client and a server. So now we have to use this one. We will work with now today. So how to install and how to configure and how to work with a network, how to operate your operating system through the network, we will discuss today. And so let's see. I think our system is ready. So it's still booting. So okay, meanwhile we'll continue. So sys configuration information. So what are the configuration files are required for your input and output procedures. So there are using the sysconfig, we are going to calculate all the configuration files. Okay, few most common devices, whatever connected with your laptop or desktop, that will be called as these short names. Okay, whatever, I will forward you this PPT to you, so it's a reference for your notes. Okay, next one, common variables. So it's a one kind of directory where you are going to store your storing non-constant data procedures. So for the purpose, you are going to use this one as a security measure. These files are usually kept in the separate part from the main system files. So we can keep a close eye on them and set a strict permissions when necessary it is required. So okay, a lot of these files also need more permissions than usually, like var temp. It is also one temporary directory where you are going to where operating system using to store some unnecessary files information. So okay, now our operating system is ready. So here what happened, I can't able to increase the font size, but I will use notepad. What kind of commands I called here? So after installing our SSH, we will work with directly this console. Okay, so here asking you for username and password. So that means here this is GUI. So here I'm going to pass my username and password what I entered. Okay, so after that it will ask you it don't ask, it's a command console, so where you want to pass your command. Okay, next one, suppose I want to work with my network device, then I have to install SSH server. So how I'm going to install? So just check this one. First, go to the root directory. So for that purpose, you have to use sudo su. Okay, this is a command. Sudo su is a command to go to your root directory. So here sudo su, and it will ask you a password. So then I'm going to enter that. So after that, it logged in. So then apt get install open SSH server. Yes. Then I'm going to press yes to install my server. Okay. So what I called here, PWD is nothing but password. Then after that, I'm going to call the command apt get install open SSH hyphen server. Okay, please note down this, guys. So suppose you want to work with your outside network device. apt get install open SSH server hyphen server. Okay. So then it will ask you to confirmation. So then you can press Y. Okay. So next one here I'm going to check what is my IP address. So for that purpose, I'm going to call this command config. If config. Okay. So if config. So will tells you what is your Ethernet password IP address. So here my IP address is 192.168.10.130. So So 192.168.10.130. So that is my IP address. So 192, yeah, 168.10.130 is my IP address. So okay, now you can download your PuTTY software. In Windows operating system. So I already downloaded and I already installed my PuTTY software. So the configuration, first you have to configure in your PuTTY. So first you can enter your IP address, Linux IP address 192.168.10.130. So it will ask you this question. So host key is not cached and registered. You have no guarantee that server is configured something. So then click on yes button. So here again it will ask you for login. So here I'm going to change my settings, appearance, the font. I'm going to increase that. So bold and 18. Apply. I think this is enough. Either I will increase some little bit. Appearance 1822. Apply. Okay. So this is enough. So no, it not required this one. This notepad is not required now. So I think this font size is enough. Either I will increase more size. So now I don't need to work with this virtual machine. So I am going to minimize this. Don't shut down and don't close. So why? Because I have to work with this virtual machine, but using this tool. Okay. So here it will ask you to log in. So here I'm going to pass my user ID and password. So it is authenticated. Okay. So now I'm going to clear. So this is my command console now. So that means here what happened, to access this is my Putty software. It is my client. Okay, this is my Putty, P-U-T-T-Y. Putty is a software. It is a client to work with your network device operating system. Okay, to work with this one, you have to install OpenSSH shell script console server in your Ubuntu. Shell script console server in your Ubuntu. Okay, clear? So, okay, after installing, you have to check your IP address. To check your IP address, you have to pass this command. What is the command? If config will gives you the IP address information. Okay, IP address information. So this is my IP address. Using this IP address, this Putty is connected to my virtual machine operating system. So that's why I don't want to restart or shut down the operating system. That one. Just you have to minimize that virtual machine. That's enough. Okay. So clear. Now come back to the PPT. So we will apply one by one all the commands today, and we will check what kind of softwares are required for those commands, and we will install those things also. Okay. First of all, so cat command. So this is our cat command. So I'm going to apply that. Cat etc shells. So how many? So here it will shall choose shells valid login cells are sh dash bash r bash. But here what happened? So we have tch and ch. So that means this command I applied for Red Hat Linux operating system. Now presently I am using my Ubuntu operating system, so which is compatible to work with this shells. Okay. So then second command. Okay. I think you already noted this one, so that's why I'm going to forward fast. So okay, next I'm going to check my home directory where it is. Okay, echo dollar home. Okay, so echo dollar home. So here what I told you, the script is a case sensitive, right? shell script is a case sensitive. So that's why here what happened? I have to write my capital letter. Okay, dollar home will tells you where you are located. Okay, clear. Again, I'm going to call echo dollar PATH. So it will tells you how many bin directories are configured in your system. Okay, so Wali bin and Wali local bin and Wali local S bin and the local S bin from the user directory and S bin from user directory and bin from user directory, S bin and games and local games. So these are the executable files were located in this bin directory. Okay, what located in bin directory? Those are executable files. Okay. So next command, I'm going to apply that. So quota. So maybe this will not execute in our system. Just clear. Clear is a command to clear the screen. This program quota is currently not installed. You can install it by typing sudo apt install quota. So let's try this sudo apt install quota. So it is asking you for password. So just I'm going to enter that password and hit enter. So here it is asking you to continue. So yes. So all triggers are overridden and now I'm going to apply that command. It is nothing, right? So okay, so let's check what is the quota. Man quota will tell you what is the configuration, why it is. Okay, general command manual quota 1 name. Okay, quota displays the disk usage in limited concepts. So here we have more text also, so it is hidden. So okay, so you can try this quota minus F. In quota minus F, all the minus F commands. Okay, so here see last you have one gray border. So quota 1 line. So press H for help or Q to quit. So I'm going to press Q to quit my information. Okay. So here man is a command. It will opens the file and shows you that. MAN is a man is a command. It will opens your file and it will shows you that configuration file concepts. Okay, so we'll use this command after working with networks and other user groups. Then I will explain you again this command. Okay, next one is so we'll go for common commands, that is ls. So it will tells you how many directories are in your current location. So here I am in home directory. So let's check how many directories are there. There is no directory, right? So okay, I'm going to close my home directory. Then I'm going to go for my root directory. What happened? Check this one. So cd dot dot. So it is in home directory. So just check this ls. Okay. So again I'm going to call cd dot dot to close my home directory and go to the root directory. Okay. So here. So it is now I am in home directory. So now I just check this one ls. Okay. So that means here what happened in the present one. So like here it is here like this one, right? Ubuntu and the dollar. This is right. So that means it is at the location here. Okay, when I called cd space dot dot, the cursor moves to here. Okay, so when again I called cd dot dot, the cursor moves to here. Okay, so see clear. So see here, cd space space, so it shows you the home. Okay, so home. When again I called cd space double dot dot, again it shows you the slash. Clear? So that means in dash of slash directory, in this slash directory, you have home directory, right? So inside of this home directory, you have this user folder. Okay, so this ls is a command to get the list of all the information. Clear? So cd is nothing but full form change directory. Change directory. Okay, so next I'm going to apply another command. What is exactly -a? Why I'm going to use? Just check this. Dot dot and double dot. Okay, dev lib mount run temporary. So all with the dot dot, and rest of the other things are with a double dot. So that means it will hidden files, and it all also shows you the concepts. Okay, so this is the -a will tell you with the dot dot procedures. Okay, next I'm going to check how many folders are available in my home directory. Just one folder, right? So again I'm going to use -l. What happened? Check this. Total 4 is a property, and it has the properties to see read write permissions for that user. Who is that user? This user. And the permission ID is totally 3 only. So that means you can maximum set 3 digit also. Okay, and the 4096 is the size of maximum size of your disk usage, and when it was created, this date, and who is the user for this one? This one. So -l will tell you with the permissions and root directory concepts. Okay, so next I'm going to use -ld and home directory. The same thing will shows you, but the current directory information. Okay, so that means the root is a root directory where it is located for the root, and root is a main user to edit this home directory. Root is a main user for this to edit this root directory. That means here what happened, inside of this home directory we have one folder. What is that? Wali. Okay, but here in the root directory we have one folder, home. So within that home folder we are going to create a number of users folders. Clear? So okay, next what is the command? Is this -ltr will tell you all the root permissions for all the folders. Okay, rw is nothing but read and write. Okay, so next one we called file to read the status and all the configuration information of your data. So first I'm going to clear this. Okay, so file so what kind of topic it is, what kind of thing it is. Home is a directory. Okay, so well I'm going to move my home directory, and again I'm going to move my user home directory. Now I'm going to create my one file, vim space 1.txt. So maybe we don't have that vim, so first we have to install that. So first I'm going to install. Why I'm going to use this vim is a editor to work with your data. So okay, suppose you want to create any data in your directory. So then you have to use this one. So apt get install. So you can use only install, apt install. So both are same. So vim. So I installed. It's a totally 34 MB. So it is installed Vim software in my server. So I'm going to use Vim 1.txt. Enter. So here it is my console editor. So there I have to press I to insert my data. Okay. So here I'm going to pass hello, welcome to Ubuntu server. Okay, I entered something. So then I'm going to call uh, escape button. So then I'm going to call colon W key to save and execute. Okay, so colon W key. So again, I will explain you how to save the file later. So next, I'm going to call file 1.txt. What is the message? ASCII text, right? So what is the command here? ASCII text. Okay, so once again, I'm going to create one more file, vim 2.txt. Enter. Now press I to insert your data. Okay, here you can type your data. Okay, clear. After that, after completing your work, you can press escape key from your keyboard. Then type colon W key Q colon W Q and enter. Okay. Next, I'm going to check what is the file. So 2.txt. This is also ASCII text. ASCII text. Clear. So this is a concept. So that means what it is, what kind of configuration has it is, what kind of standard it has. So it will tell you the concept. Okay. So we have -G also. So it is also shows you the same result option. Okay. And second one, creating and deleting the files and directories. Then we have to use this concept mkdir. So that means mk is nothing but make directory. Make directory. Okay, so now I'm going to apply this in my putty. First check this one, ls command to know how many files and directories are available in your home directory. Okay, now where you are, so echo dollar home. So you are in this location now. So here you have only these two files. Now I'm going to create my directory. So that's why I'm going to call mkdir, okay, folder 1. mkdir folder 1. Okay, now check this one. Folder is in different color and files are in different color. Clear? Okay, now I'm going to use minus ld. What happened? Check this. ls minus ld. So dot has this one and minus ld folder 1. So this folder in which under the row user, so it will tell you this concept. Okay. So okay, what is the next command inside this one? And cd and again make directory. So cd is nothing but, so ls is, that means here we have folder 1 and two text files. Now I'm going to move to folder 1, so that's why I'm going to use cd space folder 1. Okay, now I am in folder 1. Okay, here I'm going to create my one more file, that is vim 3.txt. Insert, this is your third file in Linux. Okay, it is located in folder 1 directory. Clear? So after that, press escape, then type colon wq to write and quit. Okay, so here I'm going to call cat 3.txt. So this is a it opens the file and it will show you this is your third file in Linux and it is located in your folder 1 directory. Okay, so that means vim is a command to create your file and the cat will open and shows you what is inside. Complete. So I created this file in my folder 1 directory. Folder 1 directory. Okay. So now I'm going to create two more folders inside of this folder 1 directory. So how I'm going to create mkdir folder 2 folder 3. So just check, is it possible? It's not possible, no such file or directory. Okay, now mkdir minus p folder 2 folder 3. What happened? It's ignored. If in case the folder is not available, it created that folder and again it created another folder inside of that folder, right? So now check this one, folder 2 is there, so ls folder 2, folder 3 are in your folder 2, right? So in previous command what happened, make folder 2 by folder 2 is not possible. Why? Because cannot create folder 2 by folder 2, no such file or directory as it. Okay, and second one, when I'm going to call the option minus p, what happened, without asking you and without ignoring that, it created folder 2, then after it created folder 3. Okay, write down this command. I think this screen is clear, right? Okay, next one. moving the files or folders from one directory to another directory. So then I'm going to use this one. Okay, how I'm going to move? Just check this. So here I'm in folder 1. Now I'm going to going back to root directory. Now I'm going to check how many files are in there. 1.txt and 2.txt also there. So inside of the folder 1, I have folder 2 and folder 3. So now I want to transfer my 2.txt into my folder 3 folder. Okay, so how I'm going to move? mv space 2.txt 2.txt to folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. Okay, let's check ls folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. No such file. Okay, just do one thing. cd space, sorry, I'm mistaken. Folder 1, spelling mistake. Okay, so 2.txt is stored, moved to folder 3 folder. Okay, so write down this command. So guys, don't miss, you have to practice this. Okay, next one. Next command, I'm going to copy my data from one folder to another folder, either one file to another file. So what happened? Check this. So here 1.txt is there. So now I'm going to copy. So cp 1.txt to folder 1. So let's check ls folder 1. Here 1.txt also there, right? So just I'm going to open that cat folder 1 slash 1.txt. This is Vim software to create your file. Okay, so hello, welcome to Ubuntu server, right? So okay, again I'm going to call 1.txt. The same data is there, right? So okay, from one file to another file I'm going to copy. How I'm going to copy? It is cp 1.txt and 1_1.txt. ls, you have two folders, right? So just check this cat 1.txt. Okay, cat 1_1.txt. So these are all the commands. What is that? I'm going to copy the same file from one file to another folder. And the second command, I'm going to copy the data from one file to another file. So just write down these two. Okay, in 2 minutes I will be back. Okay. Batteries so complete. So okay, next one, I'm going to use the rm command to remove your file and the directory. So first we will try to remove a file, then we will try to remove the directory. Okay. So ls. So here I want to remove my one_one.txt. So then I'm going to use rm one_one.txt. So just check this. No, we don't have any folders. Okay. Now I'm going to move cd space folder 1 and then cd space folder 2. Here I have my directory folder 3 with one file. 2.txt. Okay, now I'm going to remove this one. So then I'm going to use rmdir and folder 3. Fail to remove. Why? Because directory is not empty. So why don't you use -ri? rm -ri folder 3. So here what happened? To descend into the directory folder 3. Yes. ls folder 3 has two directories. Okay. So we have one option for that one, rmdir. So actually, suppose you want to remove empty directory, then you have to use only rmdir and the directory name. Okay. Then first, okay, we'll delete first rm uh, 2.txt. Okay, now I'm going to remove rmdir folder 3. Now check this. We don't have any directories in this one. Okay, first you have to remove that rm file name, then you have to use this rmdir. But rmdir is also has few options to delete non-empty directories also. So that is -a something -o. I will tell you that concept also. Okay, so next in next class I will explain you this concept. -i and -r something is there. So I will explain you this one. Okay, next one I'm going to use which command. So which will tell you uh, in which location where it is located. Okay. Here I called the three commands, which if config and which -a_ls and alias ls. So just first check this. So what is if config? To know your system IP address, then you have to use this if config command. Where it is located, so that will be tells you using which if config. So it is in sbin directory. So that is in your path location. Okay. So if config is an command. Okay. Which vim. It is in user bin directory in win config executable file. Okay. Which ls. It is in bin ls directory. Okay. Which cat. It is in cat directory. Which bin directory. Okay. And which -a ls is also shows you the same directory. Okay, so that means here which will tells you that command is located in some X location. So the location path will tells you that where it is located. Okay, so this is a command. Just write down this one. So mostly why you are going to use this one, if in case when you are trying to work with any commands at the real time, maybe sometimes what happen, it will tells you command not found, but it is already installed in your system, but command is not found. To stretch that one where you have to locate it, this file, but it is not configured in your path location. So that time what happen, you have to use this command, which space this one. Okay, suppose see which Java. It is not anywhere, right? So that means it is not there. So that's why it is not working. So the Java minus version is also not installed. So that's why it will tell you how to install that selected package. Okay. So okay, clear. And next one, I'm going to use stretching concept. So here I want to know how many files are there with the particular size. So first I will try this. Just go back to home directory. So then find dot minus size is more than 1 byte dot profile folder 1 folder 2 is also more than 1 profile. Okay, so find dot minus size is an option, not a minus, right? Okay, so plus 1 KB plus 1 KB, so sorry 1K, that's it. So it will tells you more than 1 KB of information. So that cache in folder 1, folder 2 and folder 3. Okay, find dot minus name with star dot txt and execute rm slash semicolon missing exec. So here suppose I want to pass temp. Exec is missing, right? Invalid argument plus KB. Okay. So there is no file more than 1 KB. More than 1 byte is not only more files. Okay, we'll check this again. This one rmexec is a command, correct? So but it has not installed some exec command. Okay, we'll check this one. Okay, next ls minus l usr bin locate. So it is a locate is a file, it is located in somewhere. Okay, and just that means it will tell you where it is located. Okay, locate server, where the files are located. Okay, locate server, unlock manager server, log check dot server. So all the server files are there. Okay, so suppose locate vim, locate vim, it is tell you where it is located. So that means here what happened, using this locate command you can find your files located in your data. So locate, where it is, yeah, locate vim is this one. So the rest of the things are reserved where it is located exactly, all the shares with all the things, right? Okay, suppose locate file. It has a lot of files. Okay, clear. So second one, locate ls. It is located in some different locations also. Okay, so that is locate is nothing but to find your information where it is located. Clear. And second one, to grab the find and information, history of information. Okay, so here minus a find bash dot history, so it will tell you the history information. So it will not work presently, so but few commands we have to add. I will tell you what is it. Find space dot bash underscore history. So there is no files or directory. Grep command. Okay, so well, we'll check that how it is retrieved. So grep etc password, sorry, ect, yes, ect. So grep command is also there. Grep ect password is also good, but it is not showing. Okay, I will tell you how this command how it works. Okay, second one, just check. So head and tail command to find out the history of your information. Dot bash underscore history. Bash underscore history. I think we will try to log in to root user. First try to log in this. Then try head minus 10 dot bash dot history, not underscore, history. Sorry, it is a command I called head, not here. Bash underscore history actually, right? Yes, of course, bash underscore history. That is grep command, bash underscore history. I made a mistake, I think. One second, I will check. First, you have to configure it. Then you have to use this. Just yeah, find dot bash underscore. So it will tell you no such file or okay. Once I will try in my virtual machine. Find okay. Minus a find no such file or history. This one. Actually, it works. Maybe so. Bash history is a file, so where you can store your previous command information also. So Control R. The file is important file. Bash underscore history is located in root folder actually. We'll go there. I think it's showing you, but you're going to control to reverse I stretch. So Control R is a command to reverse stretch. So grep command and vim command. So that means this previous history information also comes from that uh, bash underscore. Maybe it is locked, so it is not working. So grep command. So yes, now I got it. Grep Wali etc, not ect. So it will here we did wrong one. Not ect, etc. So grep username slash etc slash password will tells you priority and user ID, and it is where it is the home directory is located and what kind of bash I'm going to use. Okay, and head -10 dot bash underscore history. So it is not finding. So maybe it has a problem. So but head and tail will tells you the history information. So that means till now we operated a lot of commands, right? So we called a lot of commands. So first we want to know from head. So that means head means when your system commands you applied, everything you want to know the list of the commands, then you have head command. The tail is nothing but from the point, from the last command. So it will tell you -10 commands of information from that file. So bash underscore all the history information will be stored. So what kind of command I applied, what kind of file we used, all the information will be stored in this bash file, but it's not located. So just I will have to check and I have to install few softwares, I think. So after that it will tells you the concept. Okay, next we'll discuss other topics. So few topics we have to tell you from these commands. I will tell you all the things. So one is for remove directory options, and the second one is bash underscore history. So this is also most important file. Why? Why? Because you want to know Suppose your system is crashed, maybe your application is crashed. You want to know the previous command information. In that situation, this bash underscore history file is important, and this head and tail information is also important. Okay, I will tell you that. Once again, I will clear that. I should just, so but it is not reading. So maybe I have to list. Maybe it tells you. Okay, first we will continue, then we will check that. So based on the security, you are going to provide the secure services for the users. Suppose you created one important file, and here what happened, some people want to insert, and some people want to update, and some people want to see the information. So in that what happened, you have to create a 3 users in one user group, or you have to create a 3 different groups for your file, okay, to edit, update and view. Okay, so here your first group is for to insert your data in that particular file, and the second group is to update your file, uh, and third group is totally to view the values. So that means they don't have any chances to edit and update, insert, whatever. Okay, just check and view, they don't delete anything. So like this one, suppose you want to provide any kind of security, in that situation you have to follow the security procedures concept. Well, suppose you want to know the particular file or folder security, then you have to call this command ls-l. So it will tells you the list of files and directories with the security. So there are the few modes and few user groups. So first one we will discuss what are the access modes. That is minus, so that is a concept of 0, and R, so that is the read access. So that means first we can read this one, minus the access right that is supposed to be on this place is not granted. Okay, and third one, so that means it is in pending, the granting permission is in pending. Okay, and third one, second one is R, the code is 4. Read access is granted to the user category defined in this place. And W, the code is 2. Write permission is granted to the user category defined in the place. Okay. Third one, X, is a permission 1. Execute permission is granted to the user defined in this place. Okay. He can execute the command, but he can write, he can read, and he don't know, just he can view. That's it. So the concept will be the codes based minus RWX for that users. Okay. So user group, U is a user permission, G is a group permission, O is a permission for others. So that means, so see here, home directory. Here we have 2 files, right? So ls minus l. So we have total 8, and here see, folder has few permissions, and 1.txt has few more permissions. Okay, so here the code is 3 and 1 is for the this one. So okay, so this is based on the group code, and DRW. So RWX, read, write and access, and minus also can view. So here the 1.txt has read and write and view. Read and write and view. For who? The user is this one. So for which group? This one. Okay. What is the size for that? And what is the maximum size for folder? So this will be here. You are going to use this. Okay. So next, check this command ID. What is ID? What is echo user? Just check this. Suppose you want to know, you are in this user and you want to know what is your ID, and you don't know what is exactly the ID for your user. So just you can call this command. User ID is 1000 and group ID is also 1000, and groups are only 1, and 4 of ID for admin, and 24 for CD-ROM, and 27 for sudo, and 30 for dip, and 46 for plug development, and 114 for iPad mini, and Sham Bash has 115. Okay, so these are the IDs, and your ID is this one. Okay, suppose you want to know the username, echo user. Who is the user? WLI. So presently my system has WLI, so that's why the user is this one. Okay, so second one, we have to change the modes for our file. So this one text file has a RW, so just I want to change that permission. So what to do? Just you have to follow these commands. So after creating the this is the steps you can write down here. So vim for vim.extension file, and I press I to add your text. Then you have to press escape. After completing your text, you have to press escape. Then you have to call column W key Q to quit your vim file. Okay, so now I'm going to check that cat hello.txt. Then I'm going to check that the permissions -l.hello.txt. Then I'm going to change the mode for this one. Okay, how I'm going to change? Just check this. So here I already has one .txt file. So first I'm going to check the permission for my file. ls -l and one.txt has these are the permissions. Now I'm going to add my more permission, that is chmod. So that means change mode. Ch means change mode, mode. U for adding x to view all the text. So one.txt. So again, I'm going to call the previous command. What happened? I added x. So that means he can view. Okay. Now I'm going to remove RWX, and again I'm going to add my RDX procedure. So where I'm going to apply and where I'm going to do that, just check this. So chmod, and the for user I'm going to use RW, and group users I'm going to use only X. Okay. One.txt. So RW is invalid, right? So then you can apply RWX. Chmod RWX. Okay, clear. U is not invalid, yeah. One.txt RXRW has it. So chmod U plus RWX and go minus RWX to one.txt. So invalid URWX. Why? It's not good. The file security. So everything is clear, but the thing is RWX is also good, and user we already applied this one for previous command, right? So U plus X we already applied, but RWX is not applying. So then try this. It applied, but okay, you have to remove this space. You have to remove that space. That is the main problem. So I applied a space, that's why it is not working. So let's check ls -l one.txt has only RWX. Clear? So that means, see, again I'm applying to minus, and here applying plus. Check this one. So here it applied for the group, right? So now I'm going to apply only group can view. So that means first you have to remove that RWX. So no one is there. No one is there to access the permissions, right? So that means here still waiting to submit the permissions. So now chmod u plus rw, read and write. So either write, okay, read and write, and group can view. Group can view chmod. Sorry, underscore is not underscore, just hyphen. Sorry, plus. Okay, now I'm going to check this. User has read and write permission, and I'm going to apply to user to see that. Access permissions. So that means what are the permissions are there? Just check this. Minus, so it's waiting for the permission. Second one, R for it can be readable, and write it can be writable. X, execute permission, so that means it can see. That's it, right? So here group user is you, and a G for group, and O for others. Group members and other persons can view. So that means here what I applied here. So user can read and write, and the group and other person can view. So just like I can apply this one. So this command, so you can write these commands. So this one, first you can write this, then you can write this, then you can write this, and then you can write this, and this one. Okay, so write down this one. One second. So next continue. So these are all the permissions. We have to know why you are going to use this one. So about this permission, first till now you can practice. Then I will continue this class for next session. So within this I will explain you why these 400, 500 and 600. I will explain you clearly. Okay. So first practice these things, then I will explain you. So if in case you have any doubts, you can go for your portal, PWP portal for your college. So inside of that one, you can log in with your user ID and password, and you can check your Linux notes. Okay, thank you. In next session, we will continue with our other topics.